Hello and welcome to Andertons TV. My name is Jack Duxbury and I'm very excited to be joined today by the rather lovely
Gerry Basserman.
Gerry Basserman, my man. And I'm looking very official with my pad. And on here, Gerry's been kind enough to just write 6 of patches that you've modified and made yourself on the Prophet XL.
Yeah.
If this doesn't sound up your street, there's also another video of Gerry doing a long form.
Taking it downtown.
Taking it downtown, man, and we're going to take it uptown with these patches.
Right now, yeah.
Starting with, can we start with P23 Island?
Yeah. He's using the shortcuts, but P is program, basically. Program 23.
Let's do it.
Island. Now, this is one I didn't absolutely author, but I found it, and I thought I could make like an opening to a song you might do live with this thing, if it was an island kind of song that you're talking about. So what I'm going to do is I just turn down the mixer, both instruments and oscillator, so when I hit the sequence play button, well, you'll see what happens.
Gerry, my man.
You know, you're there. Then you're on the island, and then the tune begins. The guitar just starts playing, right? You're there. You're located, like the opening shots of a movie. They put you there, and then the action begins. So that was an idea.
Beautiful. That sounds so good.
Yeah, there's so many drums and stuff in there. Oh, thanks.
I love you playing.
Thanks, brother.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, so, you know, the drum thing in here, I never concentrate. I don't do it in any videos, but some of these kits are, and once they're programmed, they're so Game of Thrones, you know, they're so like, you know, just take it back, you know. So.
And it's a really an experience. I'm familiar with this room, and I can tell when we've got a special bit of kit because it just kind of fills the room in a special way. And it sounds beautiful, man. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's go to program 35, Voxic.
Yeah, Voxic Sufi.
Oh.
I think this was called Voxic Jazz, and then I made it Voxic Sufi. But yeah, this is another performance thing. I guess they're all performance thing in the end, right? You want to play it.
They are. I love how you go off into another planet on there, man. It sounds incredible.
Yeah, I liked it. Well, the headphones are dangerous. I was telling him before. Sometimes you're in those headphones so long, and it's just hard to mainstream yourself after you come out. But that's just me.
So Voxic Sufi.
Voxic Sufi. Now, I think I said in some videos, but I'm sure I said you can both stack two completely accomplished, layers on top of each other within a program. So you can have a lot going on, or you can split it. So it's either stack or split. The buttons are right here. In this case, it's a split, right? So in the left side, now I have this really innocent synth sound. A little bit of the glide on, you know. If I turn the glide up, you know, you get. Well, that was the borderline, and I didn't show my thing. But, right? So it's not up that much. It's just like a little...
Tasteful.
Yeah, tasteful bit. Plus it's got the extra interval, a fifth, chordal. Now you can make it brighter. Sounds like you're turning it up, but that's just going to the filter. So it's opening up the high frequencies, right? That does something when something else is happening soon. Now we start the sequence. And that frees me up to...
Yay.
Now check out when I move this controller. Sufi, bro.
So good.
I love that one. It just makes you feel like you're in the world. You're on the planet. You know, somewhere.
Oh, it sounds. I wrote a note there. A bad ass. That's what I put there.
Yeah.
You're a badass. A badass. Gerry badass. So there's a sequencer playing.
Yeah.
I also saw that when you're digging in there, aftertouch, is that giving you vibrato up there as well? Or?
In that case. Yeah, it's giving me vibrato. Plus, there's oscillators, not just the voice. It's the oscillators are in there too to give a little heft to that. And then when you do this, you remove the bass layer. Yeah, of the voice. Now the voice is the haunty part, right? But the synth part is what drives it. Right, because you know all these samples in here, they typically have envelopes. I mean, voice you can kind of sustain, but most of pianos, everything, they kind of die away. And when you layer them with the oscillators, they're full code. You know, unplug me or I'm going. You know, if you don't unplug this thing, so you've got to match that, right? The power of the oscillators and the power of the samples are so dynamic, you can kind of lose them. So in some ways, programming this is about accommodating that difference between the two worlds of oscillators and samples. And in this thing, you know, the other interesting thing is I could have that sequence playing even if the split point was all the way down here. It's like an invisible layer. It would still go boo doo 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 doo, right? And I'd have all this room to play this side of the keyboard.
That's cool.
Isn't that wild? So you could have drums that you don't want to be playing. They're in the sequence, but then you don't feel them. You're just playing with it. You know, that's kind of cool.
I love how you're using the ribbons and tapping in.
Rhythmically.
I love that you were such
I like that too.
That was cool, man.
You know, on this one, I would say too much range on the filter. Again, people like to turn things up. I do. But in this case, sometimes it's like you go just to one unit and it's already obvious, right? Yeah. You want some runway, as they say in the flying thing. You want some runway. You want a little bit, so you're not like just jumping out of the speakers, right? You'll
beautifully
get
well programmed. Well, lovely. We're on to 3 of your 6 of the best. I don't know what we call this. We're gonna six Gerry 6-pack.
6 today, yeah.
6 of the best.
6 for the day.
6
because tomorrow they're different. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. P84 Unison Sync.
Oh yeah, this is a case.
It's gonna blow our socks off.
It will, because I couldn't help but turn it up, and sometimes you can't. I do the same thing with cooking. You know, I see something in the. Put it in. You know, it's like my wife is like, no, you don't have to put everything in.
I think
kind of thing. So, thank God there's
Unison
limits
Sync
here.
More.
Yeah. Isn't that like
Gerry.
A whale expression or something? Yeah. Maw. Anyway, it's big. Let's turn those effects off. Okay, it's still big, but it's not as mawy.
Love how quick that is. So good.
Yeah. So this is Unison Mode, right? Because I've never talked about Unison Mode in these presentations. But when I go and I hit that button called Unison, you know, I have a choice of how many voices to make unison. So let's go turn it. Now also I got a stack on. Let's turn that off. So stack means there's 2 layers, right? That's the maw part, really. So this is 1 layer in in Unison Mode. Without it, you get that little bit of modulation in the beginning. This is 1 voice unison. Now 2, 3. I can go really far. I did 3 on the original sound, but now 6.
Oh. Yeah, man.
That's all 8 that you can go. So I learned that, especially if you're going to sync it and you're going to add effects and stuff, you don't necessarily have to go to 8. So I guess I left it at 3.
Very powerful, odd, not much change to the sound, but it's a bit like on the guitar channel recently, they did 100 watt amps versus 40 watt amps. You can just feel it in the speakers. It's not.
Right. You mean the 100 watts down,
yeah, so
volume is down, but it's
I think
big
they realised
sound.
that the sound wasn't massively different, but there's an inherent solidity to the sound and a heft. Like when you're hitting that key, when you're up at 8 voices of unison. And if you're not feeling that on YouTube, I implore you, come into the store, check it out, or go to a store near you and hear that, because that was quite something.
Well, yeah, and then also the detune is only on 3.
Cool.
So
it's very tight, but it's still changing it.
That's the full detune. That's no detune. So I had it on 3.
Cool.
So sometimes less is more. That's the plan. And then there's all these different modes for Unison. And the other thing about Unison Mode, if I go, check this out, I'm going to go to Basic Program. This is just a little off-ramp to go to the bathroom or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to just show, okay, you got your basic thing. But if I play a chord and I hit Unison, you know, it's that chord memory kind of thing.
Chord memory. That's cool.
Yeah, you know what? I think Korg did it first in the 80s or something. I always loved it, you know?
Yeah.
It's sort of jazzy, like with playing those parallel chords. So if you had a split and you had this chord thing happening, and then you didn't, you know, that bass sound that was a single note, you could get a lot of cool chords out of the bass relationship with that. So
really quickly implemented.
And quick,
as well.
yeah, done deal. Yeah, good.
Sick. Okay, next on our voice, patch 4. Patch 89, Morning.
Yeah.
Spell Mourni.
Yeah, morning becomes, as in morning becomes Electra. But
yeah,
so,
KCRW.
Yeah, coming at you, right? Yeah, this is to me, it's. too much pressure, I think. That's the high-pass filter over there.
Unbelievable.
You know, I think I put nothing on those because I was already so haunted by the interval that's in there. So it's hard. I mean, you can play chords. You instantly get into like...
It's so fun to see, man, because I can see you. This is why we're doing this video. We spoke about the thrill of these keyboards when you turn on a patch and you hit a note and you're like, bang, I've got ideas.
Yeah.
And then you've obviously got these patches you've tweaked. But when I see you scaling the aftertouch over here, you're quickly moving to all these options.
Like, I don't even know what I did there.
No,
yeah.
Exactly. I love to watch that.
Yeah.
Man. So what is just the basics of that patch?
Good. That's good. But first, I want to correct the thing about the pressure, because there was sometimes it was wiggling, and I didn't want it to.
You didn't want that wiggle.
Didn't want that. So I'm going to look for the pressure patch chords and where they go. Then there, it's going to LFO one amount, 8 out of 128. I mean, not much, but even that, I'm telling you, was sensitive before, right? So I'll put it down to like... 4 or 5. I would cut that in half. But anyway,
cool.
What is in there? So let's just see. Now, I have this show button. This is a great way to break down a program. You're like, oh, I don't want to touch anything. I like it. So you hit show, and anything that you move will bring up the screen to show you what it is, but it won't change it. Otherwise, if you touch a knob to say, what's that cutoff at? You've already moved it, right? So then you don't know what it was programmed at. Anyway. That makes sense, I hope.
Yeah, definitely.
So then what am I going to do? See where the mixer's at. I touch one of the knobs, and I see all the settings. Okay, so it tells me nothing's on oscillator, at least for the moment, 1, and oscillator 2 is on that. Okay, so I'm going to turn down oscillator 1 and 2 and see what I got. This is just the samples. So now I'm going to turn down instrument 1 and see. This is using that sample stretch feature. So the ambiences are one of these 8DO key maps that has something different, slightly different on every one of the keys. And this is that first key map. So I chose this haunty thing, and I said, okay, be on the whole keyboard. But I wanted to give that definition because it's kind of cloudy or it's a bit foggy. So then the second one is the bass clarinet. And to me, that's the whole magic. That's that instrument.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little chromatic thing. So that's the essence, right? And then I don't even know, where are these sitting? Looks like a... Oh, they're nowhere, because this isn't even set, so it's just,
That's it.
Yeah, now I could, like, one thing that's beautiful about having a sine wave on board with samples is, instead of a triangle wave, you see most synths opt for the triangle wave instead these days, but the sine wave is there, and if I were to bring that in, now I could bring it way up to like... I could make it just, is it there, is it not? You know what I mean? One of those things where, and the sine wave, if you have like a sample of a guitar, and it's a little thin but authentic, and you're like, I don't like thin but authentic, I want big and authentic. You put the sine wave behind that guitar and back it off a little, you got body. Yeah. You've just increased the size of the dreadnought, right? So the sine wave behind samples, wow, that's a tip.
Fabulous
That's your tip.
stuff. Oh, this is great. On to patch 100, great title, Crazy Horse.
Crazy Horse. How many Neil Young fans out there? Okay. All right, good.
I got a Tweed Deluxe.
So yeah, I thought to myself, you know what I haven't heard here is a whole bunch of guitars in the sample section. Why we have good distortions and stuff, so why why is there no distorted guitar, you know? And so I took, yeah, see, I've got, let's do a
Crazy
show and tell.
horses.
Okay, I'm gonna now take down the oscillators just so you can hear without the distortion.
So guitar ensemble.
Yeah, it's just ensemble.
Guitar,
yeah. Wait.
I like that.
Pressure's bringing in the feedback fifth, right?
Wow.
That little kind of thing that comes in and you say, that must be real, because I'm hearing that thing. Now, if I go with the instrument 2, oh, now I'm getting my fifth. So you know how you chug along a lot of times on a fifth. So, but you know, you kind of condemned to that. It's in there. You're going to get his power chords time, right? So.
And then you.
Yeah. So then I added some oscillators, and so that's a little bit of that power of the oscillator. Notice how the oscillator's not going away, that the guitars have decayed a long time ago, like what I was saying before. Now I could always go to the envelope and actually address that, but I like it because when you turn on so I can bring in more on this thing, yeah. Is that Cinnamon Girl? I think Cinnamon Girl, they tuned down. But anyway, and then there's the spring reverb, you know? That. I never forget the first time I had an emulator in front of me back in the day working with EMU, and I took a distortion pedal. I had a big muff.
Yeah.
And I put it on the output. I'll never forget that. That was like...
It's crazy, brand new sound.
Yeah, right. This was all $8,000,
before.
digital, this and that. I didn't understand and stuff, but you know, I know what that pedal was doing. And I put it on there, and it sounded so radical, you know. And so now, of course, things like that in the keyboard, you know, and you can drive all the parameters of these effects with this stuff or LFOs or stuff. So they're completely like this with the rest of this. They're not just at the end or as if they were a box out here.
As I'm learning, the more time I spend in front of the X and the XL, it's about new sounds, I think. It's like, and yeah, I won't talk much about it, but every time I come back to this and people like you show me it,
yeah.
I'm blown away when I play it. And I think that a lot of people out there are sleeping on its possibility. It might be a while before people really understand it, because I think it's doing some new stuff.
I think it has having category problems.
I can hear me getting slated for that, because people go, oh yeah, you can get a software instrument, you can put effects on it. But
right.
The way we're interacting, the way we're both sat here
at
this instrument, we can't do if we're at a computer. I just can't
it
get
is
that
different.
feeling, man.
It is different. All the knobs available and just having an impulse. It's an impulse.
And
instrument.
mastering, I can see your mastery of the instrument.
Yeah.
I find it very hard to master the computer. Anyway, our sixth and final patch.
Oh, wait, I'm getting an email. Hang on. No.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Sixth and final patch, Gerry. We're going for patch 103, Richter Vivaldi.
Richter Vivaldi. 2 composers in one. Max Richter is the guy who's alive now, and he's a pretty famous composer, and he's a minimalist. He does scores for TV and movies, and he also, I think he gets commissioned to do pieces on his own. Anyway, this might have been a commission, I'm not sure, but he did a thing called Recomposed Vivaldi not very long ago, and I just happened to hear it. I love the Seasons music, right? And the violin part that... there's violins, it's all strings. So, but anyway, there's this one riff in the summer that... Now, I'm just making up most of that, but it's kind of the spirit of it, kind of thing that I'm doing my whole life. Spirit of, not the letter of. And you hear all the delay that's going on, and that's actually in his score. At least in one of the versions that I've heard, you know, there's all this delay going on, which... And then this kind of ruminating part comes in that Vivaldi didn't do at all, right? This is just sort of part Vivaldi. Yeah, it's just
beautiful.
His idea was simple. It was nice, and then when you can just sort of play along with it and create the space.
Oh, the way you ride the attack of the samples there, and you're playing it. It sounds lovely.
It's like what I want them to do, right? As if they were looking.
Yeah, like I can see you dig in, and it gives you instinctively what you're feeling. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gerry, for that. And I implore you to check out the other video. If it's not out, give us a bit of time. The Maltese Falcon over there. Whoop. He has to edit these things, so sometimes when I say, yeah, check out the video below, I'm going to temper that and say it will be out soon enough. But anyway, Gerry, I like to walk out of these videos normally on a demo, if we're lucky enough to get a demo, but I think this is too posh for a demo.
Oh, yes, right.
Sometimes the keyboards are good enough that they're like, we don't do demos. But do you have something that we can leave on and we can walk out of videos like badasses?
I was saying in the earlier video, I have not explored 100% of this sound bag. It sounds silly in a year, but it's huge to my, what's that, an excuse? Yeah. To my, but I did find this sound that. You can do stuff like this too. I'm just doing the octave button. But I'm just wanking over here in the same, sounds like I'm really good, right? Anyway, let's leave it off with the bend.
Yeah, and if you like what we're doing, like, subscribe. If you don't, bring the hate.